All right, my good people. This is Charles Madison of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I have with me a guest of a band of a group that I just need everybody who hasn't tapped in to be able to get to know this group and get to know these people and listen to their music and celebrate their legacy and I miss bands and I think what I feel like personally, maybe I want to say maybe the last uh couple weeks is really find great artists, great bands, great people who are connected together through music and things like that as well. So I feel like I'm lucky because I get a chance to talk bands. And this station is brought to you by on this interview lunisonmusic.com, and we'll explore all of Lunison's music and social media and everything else that they have going on. And I have my man Matt from Lunison right here, right now on Next Legacy. What's up, sir?
Charles, how you doing, man? Good to
Uh, I'm
talk to
I'm
you.
I'm beautiful, man. On a Friday, and I get to kick it with you for a little bit. I'm great, man. I'm
All
beyond great.
right.
So it's a wonderful thing. So thank you for tapping in and hanging out with me today. And just before we start with the Q&As, and I kind of told you a little bit through our little conversation, man. Thank you for your music, man. Like discovering you and your band has been tremendous for me and the 19 plus years of radio that I have done, and longer than that being a music fan. Like I became a music fan of Lunison 3 weeks ago. So I'm excited, I'm thrilled, and I just want people to really understand how important good music is, and bands and everything else. So, Matt, thank you on behalf of the group as well for the music that you have done and continue to do.
Oh, thanks for spinning our music. I mean, we want to get it out to as many people as possible, but then, just hearing that it's meaningful to you is beyond meaningful to us. Um, so thank you.
Oh man, being a new fan of music and discovering new music is I don't even know because you're an artist, right? So I don't know if you get this, or you even might be a fan of somebody that you've discovered for the very first time. So before we get in the Q&A about Lunison and how you guys got together, what do you think about music and discovery of it, in this stage and not just your life and career, but just in general, and how that makes a person feel when they really kind of connect with somebody musically? I may not even know you now, Matt, but I feel like I know you through music too. And I'm like, man, I'm impressed. So how does that make one feel?
Oh yeah, I mean it's the greatest joy in my life is the first discovery of music, and then that turned it for me. It turned into I want to create this. And it wasn't even I want to create this for other people. It was like it was like an intuitive need. I knew that I needed to create music, and discovering music is I always wanted to have like find a new band or find a new artist. Even yesterday I was driving and I had to listen to a song to learn for an open mic. And
Hmm.
I was listening to "It's Too Late" by Carole King, and I was like, man, I just love Carole King. It's always
Yeah.
rediscovering the song. So rediscovery is great as well.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's a trip because I don't to me there's a connection that runs deeper than just how a sound is. It's really the voice connected to the sound, connected to how it's done, which I feel like when it comes to your group, it stands alone from like other people. I never try to compare like you or your group to anybody. I just, everybody has their own thing. And I think you
yeah,
and I are enthusiasts to the point where if somebody sounds like somebody else, then they're just faking it. They don't have their own way of flowing and things like that. So your band is very unique. And I
yeah.
would love to know how you guys got started, how you guys got together to form this group.
Oh well. Thank you again. That means a lot. The genesis of the band was Craigslist. The first thing that I did is I knew that I wanted a band called Lunison. Lunison I thought was a cool title because it's a combination of lunacy and unison. So it's the combination of chaos and order.
Right.
Because a lot of my favorite bands, there's a lot of chaos and just kind of turbulence going through the behind the scenes of the music, but then a lot of the music is very beautiful and it melds to create this very wholesome listening experience. So I wanted a band called Lunison, and I recorded our first song, just me. The first song is called "To Die For," and I put that up, and then I put that out on Craigslist and said, here are some of my inspirations. I really like Bowie and Prince, and you can really hear it in the song. So anybody who likes anything that goes like between those parameters might be a good candidate for the band. And specifically, I wanted to create a trio because I just love the idea of a trio. Three
Hmm.
people, everybody sings, so you can do some harmonies, and people that are really adept at their instruments, bass and drums. Um, and we went through a couple of different iterations and member changes before we found the bass player Greg, who also sings, and then Patrick, the drummer, who also sings.
Hmm.
But it almost, "To Die For" was like the template, um, or the resume rather, that I put out there. It's like, if you like this, yeah.
So we got to explore Craigslist, because you find what you find on Craigslist,
Oh yeah.
but you started your journey there, and like
Hmm.
you mentioned, there's been some iterations of the band, but it's funny because you already had the name title, so you really was seeking someone who understood the vision and their assignment and coming together and wanting to do it at the end of the day, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
So how did you? I mean, because I don't have like any. Like I said, you find what you find on Craigslist, but I feel like in a sense, how you began this journey was like, okay, let me just throw it out there randomly and let me see if I can find a connection. And what was the best thing that you got out of discovering? I mean, like we said, you went through a couple of iterations, so you found what you found, but now you have some solidity in that. Like, what was the positives you took from finding people there, and then what did it take for you to actually kind of make sure that everybody come together and all form as one?
Well, it's interesting. The thing about Craigslist is like a lot of bands, especially back in the day, would meet because they went to school together or
True.
they went to the same bars. But we were from different areas and had different backgrounds because we met on Craigslist, and we wouldn't have met otherwise if not
Hmm.
for the internet, right? So like, I met people that I wouldn't have otherwise met, and I think that there's a lot of positive to that. And it took us a while to, I think what I notice in bands is like, or any kind of like business venture or anything, there's always like, we have these walls up. And as we started going through some of the hardships, booking shows, or maybe some of the failures that you face as a band, like not making festivals, not being included in this in crowd or that in crowd, maybe the
Hmm.
radio station turns you down. Going through the hardships of being in a band can create this bonding. And to create that bonding, that hard formed bonding with complete strangers, created some like really like, I value the relationship that I have with those guys. You really, I love being in a band because you have like a team, like you have your people, and then you're on a group text together. Put a little logo on the group text. It's a feeling of belonging. You know.
Well, I'll tell you this, I 100% agree, because a lot of the relationships that I've forged over my radio career and things like that was not in person, it was online. And
Yeah.
not meeting until later in life, some points, or one another became like family at the end of the day. So I understand that there. Aside from what you mentioned in terms of challenges, because I always look at this with bands, it's hard enough to be able to like find gigs and do certain things in general, but what are some of the other challenges that you as a group faced in regards to just trying to grow? Because you just want to have music, rock out, do your thing, and stuff like that. But music has obstacles. So what else were there in terms of how you got to this point of, in my rising success, in my opinion? So
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. With your help, for sure. Thank you. Thanks for spinning us. So I just want to throw that out there again. But I think because the music is the most important part, there's such a heavy emphasis on getting it right. And I am a control freak and I like things to be perfect. And I have to let go of the reins a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I think there is a struggle when I bring in a song and I'm like, I know what I want the drums to sound like. And I know maybe I have a little bit of the bass line and I want this harmony here. And I need to understand that these people, these friends that I've made, have the need to express their creativity as well. And, you know, if Patrick, our drummer, wants to play it in double time, when I'm kind of hearing more of like you know, a halftime feel or, you know, I want to hear that idea.
yeah.
I want to hear what that idea sounds like, not reject it right out of the gate. Like I want to hear that. And sometimes I don't, it doesn't appeal to me right away. And I have to kind of sit with it and be like, you know, hold back my controlling nature. um, that's a hardship because there will be, you know, there can be arguments about like, what should we do with this part? So I think that that's probably the most difficult thing is to let go of the reins a little bit of of an idea that you come in with and say like, this is the point of a band is having different ideas go into this kind of this collage and creating something greater than something that I could just think of because so many people are doing it that way. You know, it's just a person at a computer, and uh, and a lot of that is so great. But you know, I love bands. You know, I want to hear a bunch of minds coming together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. Yeah.
But Matt, that's a testament to, clearly you and the other members as well, because you have to find out where your flaws are. So you said that I'm a control freak. It's hard for me
Mm.
to stop being one because this is all I've kind of got used to as I'm going through my whole journey. Um, so was there an aha moment when it came to that, not just forming the band, but even for yourself, where you're like, you know what? This is my moment to reflect on what I need to do better at. And I think comprehension, especially with a group, you know what? I'm gonna sit on this. We're gonna wait. We're gonna, in a lot
Mm.
of cases, it could be like a relationship. You know what? We have some miscommunication issues. I'm not gonna leave, but I'm gonna go in that room and then we'll figure it out later after we kind of soak it in. But talk to me a little bit about just your revelation when it came to, you know what, for the sake of the team, I gotta slow it. I gotta slow myself down.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't a very exciting answer, but like a I think kind of a profound moment was like so I'm not a sports guy at all. Like I just have always been music, you know. But our bassist wanted to watch football on Sundays
Hmm.
and he couldn't practice at a certain point, right? And he couldn't practice. I think it was like at noon. I have no idea when football is on now, but couldn't practice at noon. And he was like, and I just knew like he couldn't practice because he wanted to watch the game, right? And
Hmm.
so in my mind, I'm thinking like, so you'd rather like sit around and watch football than play, you know what I mean? Because I have this extreme mind, and it goes, you'd rather that, and instead of reacting and saying like, no, we don't do that. Like the music comes first. It's like, how about he just worked all week and he
Hmm.
wants to sit and watch this game
Hmm.
and we can just practice like 2 hours later or 2 hours earlier
Yeah.
and learning to like you know compromise a little and because I have to look at myself and go like man that like you can't act like that. You know, like you can't flip out on someone because they have other things that they like to do,
Yeah.
right? So it's like I think that was just a personal moment that I had where it was like and then it kind of went from there. It's like, okay, sometimes we have to practice weeknights instead of on Sunday because these
Hmm.
guys have things they want to do during the weekends. And I have to let that go. In my mind, a band is like all we're doing is the band. You know,
Yeah.
we're a
Yeah.
team and it's us against the world. That's how I grew up, the idea of bands that I had growing up. But it's like, you know, these are people and they have lives and the fact that they're willing to give their time to this at all is something that I appreciate, you know,
No
if that
doubt.
makes sense. Yeah.
No, it does because it's still hard because this is all I want to do. Why are you
Yeah.
doing that? Like football used to drain me, man. It took like all day, every day, or not every
Yeah.
day, but Sundays especially, because from sun up to sundown, it's football all day. So how can I manage doing what I'm doing? But even with that, there's discipline. Even with what you really and truly love to do comes with that as well. So I always find that interesting with bands, because you can't, it's not even about you anymore. You have to kind of give in to what the band needs at a particular time. So I think it's very interesting to get the dynamics of it. And speaking of, what are your thoughts on bands across the globe? Because I feel like this, it's what you guys are doing is when I see a band unite and do what they do and music that you have, it's, oh my God, I'm glued. It used to be like that back in the day, and then it kind of went away, in my opinion, and then it came back, and then it's kind of still hovering around and things like that. So the evolution of bands, where do you see that at right now?
Hmm. It seems to be not as important to our culture right now, and I think the future looks really uncertain. But I think that kids need bands, and kids need to be in bands.
Hmm.
Young adults, and I think it's going to keep going, whether it's like popular to the world at large or not. Locally, you're going to see it in the clubs and in breweries as clubs are winding down and kind of breweries are popping up.
Right.
Um, so I just try to remain open to whatever like trends come around, as long as like people are still getting together in a room and playing. You know what I mean? And creating new ideas to share with the world.
Well, I have to tell you that, um, I totally understand where you're coming from, because I struggle with it myself. You heard me say it's been like this, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
The emotional roller coaster that comes with the need of it is important, and I think this is why Lunison is important, and the other bands out there that is performing as well, because it does create a sense of unity among others. And you don't have to know everybody for 500 years to know that what you provide is important. I think that's a life lesson for all of us, Matt, because the days of, I don't know how old you are, it doesn't matter, but I remember the days when I went outside and I literally was like, I can go make a friend today, and it's all good because I knew that person was up the street or around the corner or whatever, and we just started talking and we became friends. It was easy like that. You don't see it much, but also there is still a desire for pockets of people to get those kind of feelings. Same way that I feel about bands. So, it's gonna eventually stick, because I feel like people need people, and and people
Yes.
need bands.
Yeah, a need. It's a need.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
need. Like the online is that's an instant it's an instant good feeling. It's a feeling of connection, but eventually it wears thin. And I think that, I'm about to turn 37. So I'm not very like I'm no sage or anything, but I just find that as I'm getting older, like I know that I need relationships. And when I was younger, I prided myself on like I don't need anybody. Like I like to isolate. I'm a lone wolf, but it's a need, like you said. We still need to go out and meet people at like I'll go to open mics and just go up and be like, hey, I have that guitar too, and like shake someone's hand and introduce myself to somebody, a couple years my senior or whatever that I might not regularly talk to, and
Yeah.
that's like the most meaningful part of the day. It's like, you know. So I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
So Matt, let me stand up a little bit, or let me adjust my seat a little bit. You just said that you're alone. See, I'm the same way. I'm a lone wolf. I can be at home and be quiet, or I can go and to a show and have fun, do what I do, things like that. How do you manage that? Because for me, and it's just you and me talking. All these other people, y'all can listen to us, but it's you and me, Matt. So listen, how do you manage that, being a part of a band too, when those are moments that you just kind of want to just isolate, like you say? Because I'm very introvert extrovert, like, but I'm somewhere in the middle, and sometimes I find that as odd, because I could do this, but then I could shut the world out right after this and don't talk to anybody. So
Yeah,
how do you
I'm like
manage
that too.
it?
Yeah, how do you balance that? I think it's like a lifelong learning process, but also, um I feel a lot of comfort by myself because no one's perceiving me and I can't be judged, in
Hmm.
my mind. I don't think anybody's really thinking about me at all, but in my mind.
Yeah.
But then I got to know when I've reached that limit and I need to get out and talk to people. With practice, a lot of times, like to be in a band, basically, like I don't feel like going to practice. Um, and like working, but it's always worthwhile. And I just have to
Hmm.
remind myself that. And I don't know if this is a tangent, but I'll do like a thing where like, all right, I'm gonna go to practice, even though it's the last thing I want to do, and I'll stop on the way and get like a treat, like I'll get like a candy bar.
Okay.
So I'm like
Okay.
just to give myself that kind of like reward for doing the thing that I don't want to do, which is like going and like it's like you we're not getting paid to do this. This is
Right.
a
Right.
job. And some days it's like, does anyone appreciate that? But it's like, all right, I'm gonna reward myself. I'm gonna get like a milkshake after this or something. It's like a little sugar treat, a little dopamine hit.
Matt, you know what? I do the same damn thing. I do like, you
Yeah.
know what? I gotta go out, but before I go home, or I'm just gonna
Yeah.
I'll go to the store and I'll go buy something. You said a candy bar or a milkshake
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm the same way. Like, you know what? Whew, this was exhausting. I gotta go get something to say, hey, you know what? Thumbs up for myself. I did pretty good. So
Yeah. It's like we gotta treat ourselves like we're like a little kid. It's like, look, you'll
yeah,
get the thing after, all right?
yeah.
It's gonna be okay.
Facts. That's facts.
Yeah, man. It makes it worth it.
Hey Matt, let me ask you what when it comes to the Lunacy brand, what are you most proud of so far?
Um,
Got a good question
There's
for
a
you,
there are
man.
a couple things.
Got
Right now I go right to songs. Like what's the song I'm most proud of? I really like I think Lost Are the Days maybe is would be the song because I've always wanted a song that was like rooted like with a beat that's like rooted on the snare drum.
okay.
It's kind of like a train drum beat. And that song was such an endeavor like to create. I think I'm probably most proud of that song.
Okay.
Um, Everything surrounding it, the music video too. Even though that's the least important part of it, I had to go and like get all these home tapes because the idea of the song is like all of these memories that we create and everything. It's just like vanish into the past, into this little pinhole behind us. And I was like, oh, for the music video, it'd be cool to get all of these home videos. What I had to do is like get these DVDs and cassette video VHS tapes and
Hmm.
convert them into like MP4 files or whatever, and like line them up. So that was an endeavor, and then the song was just like an insane endeavor to try and create this beat. I don't know why it took forever to pin down. Um, I think that's the probably the thing I'm most proud of. And then recently, just we did that cover of When Doves Cry,
Right, right.
and like I think the fact like the way that we mic'd the drums, I think we used like two overhead mics and that's it. And we got that drum sound. And it's like loud. I love how loud it is. I'm proud of that because going into our next album, I want to use that same approach. So it's like that's like the watermark now. It's like I want it to be this loud. We don't really have to go all out recording drums. We can use a couple of overhead mics.
Hmm.
Um, So I think the sound that we were able to get on that last recording is probably song wise the thing I'm most proud of.
Well, I got to tell you that song, and it's hard to do anything, redo or do something Prince related. I mean, he was just awesome in general, but
Yeah. Yeah.
the way you guys had it reeled me in. It wasn't something where it was just kind of like, oh, okay, they're just redoing something that was already done before. But you carried it with such a diverse vibe that how sometimes you can hear a song and it's going to remind you of another song or something like that. You kind of formed your own in the midst of doing a remake to that. Like, how did you do it? And I know you kind of explained it a little bit in regards to that, but what was the interpretation or the thought process to, you know what, let's just get in here and remake this, but also let's try to make it sound a little different.
Yeah, man. Thanks for saying that. I think like also, so when we started the band, we're like we should have one cover that we do at shows.
Hmm.
So let's pick a bunch of covers, and we tried a bunch of different things. We did "Ashes to Ashes" by David Bowie, and I was like, if you know the words to this song, sing along. Nobody knows that song. That's
No.
news to me. I thought that was like a huge hit. Um, so I was kind of surprised by that. But when we do "When Doves Cry," and let me tell you why too, because Prince intentionally took the bass line out of that song. So there's no bass line in that song. And I was like, we could put our own spin on it just by adding like a funky bass line to that alone.
Hmm.
Because you're hearing it, you're like, I recognize this song, but it's just a little different. Why is that? So Greg went to like great efforts to try and like map out this like really cool groovy bass line. And then I was like, what would be cool is like instead of that synth arpeggio that he plays at the end, like if I thought of like a really flowery guitar part. So I learned how to sweep pick on guitar, which is usually like reserved for like metal guitar. Sweep picking it's when you just kind of like use your right hand to like strum down, but then your fingers follow. So it's like very quick. And I had to like train to learn how to play that part.
Wow.
So now we're bringing like two different elements to it, as well as the drum part as more of an acoustic drum set. He would have used it like a synth a drum machine for that song.
Hmm.
So we wanted to put our own spin on this song because we're all like big fans of Prince. And it's a pop song. It's like, oh, let's make it a little rock. So
Yeah.
I could talk forever just about that, like, because it was so fun to put our own spin on something that we loved so much. And when we play it at shows, I said about Ashes to Ashes. I'm like, if you know the words, sing along. Nobody. When you play the very first lick and When Doves Cry, people go, ah, like they everybody knows that immediately. And
Right.
I'm like, cool. Well, I love playing guitar. Like, so that that challenges me too, because that guy could play like crazy, Prince.
That is so cool. That is so cool.
Yeah,
And like I
man.
said, if people haven't checked it out, you should because it's really different and really different in a very, very good way because um I just feel like that's a blueprint for how other people should do it and just kind of add their own energy to it because it's already energetic and and having your own sample or your own staple, I should say, of how certain sounds should be able to become. I mean, I think you guys did a wonderful job on that. So I asked you about the
Thanks, man.
group. You're welcome. And I asked you about the group in terms of what are you most proud of? So I'm gonna go back to that and ask you, what are you most proud of what you've accomplished, you, Matt? Not the group, but just you.
Hmm. I will say, in music or in life.
Just in general. You could say
All
whatever. You
right,
can tie it into,
I'm gonna hit.
whatever is yours and you want to own it, sir. That is you.
I'm gonna hit you with something maybe a little unexpected. I have 5.5 years ago decided to get sober from drugs and alcohol, and
Good job,
I
man.
because thank you. Yeah, I kind of bottomed out on both, and it took me to places I didn't want to go. And when I got sober, I had tried to get sober a bunch of times, and I would always mess up and go back. When I got sober this time, I was like, I'm going to step away from music completely for 2 years, which is hard for me. I like to play guitar every day, several times a
Wow.
day.
Okay.
2 years I took off, and I just kind of focused on staying sober and making connections in the Alcoholics Anonymous program. So,
Mhm.
um, on in that third year, I put together Lunison, and I was able to, because it's hard, going into bars, and now like, it's there's a lot more than just alcohol that's like
Okay.
very legally readily available. So there's a lot of temptation if you're trying to stay away from it. And
Right.
I needed that time to retreat and kind of reflect. And I feel like we did things as a band that I wouldn't have maybe been able to do prior. So I think like that, the sobriety piece and everything that kind of came with it and because of it is what I'm most proud of personally. Yeah.
I commend you and continue to stay that way because I think within discovering of who you are I don't know, you could tell me yourself, but it probably made your music sound even more sharper than
Hmm.
previous ones or whatnot. And I also think
Definitely.
that that kind of gives you a sense of accomplishment to know that, you know what, no matter what's going on, and you know addiction to whatever, or just succumbing to something else and then to overcome it is very, very challenging every day. It's not one of those things where you could just say, hey, you know what, I'm good, but it's an everyday thing on your behalf, right?
That's correct. It's an everyday thing. And you're right too. Like, I think that addiction, however it's viewed by anybody, addiction, alcoholism, it's a form of obsession, right? So I can't turn that obsessive part of my brain off. So I really, when we were making this album, creating the band, I had to put the obsession somewhere, and it went into the music, every
Hmm.
detail being correct. You know what I mean? So I think that, it's a blessing and a curse. And I think with music, it can be a great blessing if you're making sure you don't drive everyone around you insane, which I sometimes do.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it worked to the benefit of the music, and I hope it continues to do so.
I look at it now as I'm getting to know you now too, and I'm hearing you and comprehending what you're saying. Kind of took me back to some of the things I was dealing with radio, and just you have those moments. It seemed like, Matt, no matter who it is that I've talked to everyone you could think of that's been in the business for a long time, people that's starting, they had moments of reflection in their life, be it if it was addiction or just falling, I don't want to say out of love, but having an
Mhm.
issue with music, because life is lifing is what a lot of people say. And you know what? I need to take a step back. I took a step back from radio back in 2015, 16, because mentally I was crashing out, man. It was everybody that I knew that was close to me died during that stretch of 2 years. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this right now. I got to stop. So how do you get back to it? Because you explain your sense of, like, when I came back, I'm sharper now, this, that, and the other. But there's a big chunk of you that missed it. What did you miss most about it during those 2 years that you were off?
Hmm. I miss being on stage. I miss being on stage, and part of it was a mental thing because I knew that I couldn't go into a bar. And you have to, when you're on stage, almost always be in a place where alcohol is served
Yeah, yeah,
and where there's,
exactly.
people behaving alcoholically, whether it's making plans or talking about the bright future. You know what I mean?
Right.
People lit up on chemicals. I miss that. And yeah, man, so I miss that. And it wasn't missed so much as like when I turned on the radio and I heard like my local radio station talking about the festivals for the summer, these bands, you just feel like, oh, like,
Yeah.
oh, I just yearn to be back in that world. Um, and so it was difficult to even listen to the radio at that point. And so I don't know. I think that kind of that angst was channeled into then the music though.
Hmm.
I've learned that anything creative, but just in my case, with music, it's like when you take that time off, you're getting material, you're getting life material, you're getting whether it's resentments or grievances
Yeah.
you're getting stuff to then mine and use as songwriting material. Um, and so I have to appreciate that. Like there's okay, I with Fake Pink, our last album, it's like I did that, and then I had like writer's block, and it's like okay, time to go live my
Ooh,
life. You know,
wow.
time to go be hurt, time to go be joyous, time
Yeah.
to get more material.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting, man. I mean, your journey itself is amazing to like hear, and the fact that you've been doing this. So, uh, I always look at it like this, when especially when it comes to like performances, and how exhilarating it can be being on stage, and you kind of get a rush, when people knows the song, or you can hear somebody sing along with you. It's always a beautiful thing. um is there certain venues that if Lunison can perform, like where I would love to go to these places? Is there a few places that come to mind that you would like to perform in?
Whew. I would love to perform at the Viper Room.
Okay.
in LA.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. There's so many places, historic places that we'd love to play. Right now, we're writing to record a new album, so we're actually not even gigging right now. It's like everything's going into just into that, but we want to have a tour afterward,
Hmm.
and that will of course be dependent upon how the music performs, and if like then we have the finances to tour.
Right.
But we want to tour across the country. We want to play in California so bad.
And because I'm out here in California, I'm not in LA, I'm up. I'm in the Bay Area. But my guy who's active and out there, shout out to Omar Eye to Eye Entertainment. He's in the LA San Diego area. So if the listen, I mean, you already, Matt, you guys already got a catalog that is tremendous. So if you're
Oh,
adding on
thank
to
you,
that with
Charles.
a new project, that's dope. But also, where we need, as media and fans of Lunison, need to invest in you. So if we want you at the Viper, Madison Square Garden, wherever the hell, we need to put you there because, for one, it would be great to see. And two, that adrenaline rush that you all are going to have, you're going to be like, you know what? We made it, but still, we got something else that we're going to wind up doing later and stuff like that, too. So, I always feel like
Yeah.
it's always good, Matt, when you can like connect yourself to like-minded people. You have that with your band. And what do you think about just marketing yourself and clearly the band itself? Is it a little easier now? Is it still a little difficult? Like, talk to me about just your thoughts on branding yourself as well as being a musician, because that's kind of hard. Back in the day, Matt, you could just be an artist and you can just go perform because somebody else took care of something else. Now it's a little different.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm just not a pro at that, and I feel sometimes that it can be a little futile
Yeah.
to promote yourself, especially like on Instagram. It's like I see what's going on with these bands, like, and like, well, you know what? I'll compare it to this. Like when you go to an open mic, you're like, man, I'm so nervous to go on. I'm so nervous to go on, and you have this like loud voice, and you realize like someone's playing right now. Like they were
Yeah.
nervous to go on. Pay
Yes.
attention to like, and I have to tell myself like appreciate what they're doing, because I don't know if it's karmic or whatever, but it's like when I'm on finally, it's going to be a bunch of musicians watching that are just going like, oh, when am I going to be on?
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of feel like on social media, like it's parallel to that, in that like, when I go on, I'm friends with all the bands that we've made friends with on playing bills and sharing studios with, or
Hmm.
word of mouth, and I see them promoting their stuff, and I'll like it, but then I'm like, okay, when am I going to promote my stuff? Like, how are we going to
Yeah.
promote? And it's like, are we just kind of just, I don't know. I don't know how far the promotion goes, is what I'm saying. And I'm trying not to be pessimistic. But
Well, you know what? Because of the situation you're in, being an artist, and you got to market yourself, and you got to promote yourself, and you got to brand yourself. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts with it. So
Mhm.
I find it interesting that a lot of artists like yourself, in general, bands like yourself or whatnot, is weird. Not, I don't want to say weirded out, but it's just different. Like, damn, I got to do this now
Yeah,
and
man.
this and
Yeah.
that over there. Like, I have to do that and come back to that and do it, which is the reason why I'm glad you're on my team, because to me, I think this is where you can be able to have a balance now when it comes to that. Like, let people who really care about your music and what you want to do, like, okay, yeah, that's your pocket. Go do that. That's perfect. I'll give you a thumbs up and I'll add on to it. But I think that's why it's very important, Matt, to assemble the right kind of people around you that can be able to kind of help add on to that. Do you feel like you have so far? And what else do you feel like you need to do in order to get yourself out there?
Well, I think we just need to keep plugging away.
Hmm.
Um, I and goes back to the beginning of our conversation. I love bands. I have studied bands only because of just pure enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And I'll look at like, let me just pluck a band out of nowhere, but Duran Duran.
Okay.
So like first the first album they had, like Girls on Film, And I'm trying to think what else, what other songs did they have on that first album? Like songs that I think are Planet Earth.
Okay.
Songs that I'm like, these songs are killer, but the band wasn't that big at that point. So
True.
what they did is they, after like just ceaselessly touring the world and off that first album, they go and they make Rio, and that it, propels them into this superstardom that I don't even know myself if I'd want personally. You know what I mean? But I'd want to make the music at a certain quality to get there for sure.
Yeah.
So like, and I could think of like a bunch more examples. So I think the next step is always just to like try harder, because if anything, the fact that like the first two albums weren't this huge explosion, it can be a benefit because it forces you to push harder and make even greater art,
True.
something that would get across to more people.
Very true. I
Yeah.
think that I think when you when you put it like that, I think it's very interesting that especially with the day and age of what we have going on too. That's why I think it's vital that we have, a support system, and I think it's crucial when it comes to
Yeah.
that. So I just think it's amazing that, we're here, we're able to. So you kind of talked about social media and things like that. Um I always look at social media as a tool. It's there to
Hmm.
use. Um,
Hmm.
it should not consume you. If it does, then you got a whole other problem when it comes to that too, because you kind of have to have balance when it comes to like specific things. So I'm gonna ask you, Matt, it's a random question. I feel like we're cool now, so
For sure.
we could throw this out there. So when it comes to just other things that Matt does besides music, what are some of the people that's going to be fans of you knows? Do you have any extra hobbies outside of music? What do you have going on for yourself?
If I look at my day to day, I exercise every day. I've been doing the Peloton.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Peloton's great, especially speaking of music, because they have music rides. And whether it's 90s pop or like 60s classic rewinds, like the instructors will kind of mold the classes around a playlist that they put together that fit within that decade. But I
Hmm.
will share one grievance, which is that I've reached out to a couple of my favorite instructors to put our music on there, and they haven't responded.
No
Which,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I'm half joking, because it's like they probably are just inundated with people messaging them crazy stuff. Like, so they probably didn't even see it, but no, I love the Peloton. I exercise every day, and then like during the day I teach guitar, so
Okay.
mostly to kids, and then at night I read. So I like reading, exercising. Um, those two things. I like to read a lot and exercise.
Oh, nice, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I think if anything, as people are getting to know you and stuff like that, I think it's cool that it's like, oh, okay, yeah, there's a little something extra about Matt that I didn't really know. So that's
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
did.
I mean, it used to be a lot of unhealthy behaviors, and then I had to find things that were a little healthier, you know what I mean?
No doubt. What is
Yeah.
what you mentioned new music. So tell me a little bit about, project. Do you have the name of the album? What's on the horizon for Lunison?
No name yet. I'm
Okay.
just writing. I'm writing a lot, and just bringing songs into the room and trying to just get something in the room. To get back to what we were talking about, which is like, and I want to make sure I'm not putting down the digital aspect of music, or the digital, people sending music back and forth, but I really like the idea of like, here's a song, I'm just going to play and sing it for you, to
Right, right.
drummer and bassist Patrick and Greg, and us generating something within the room. And
Okay.
wherever we leave off, we'll pick it up next time we're physically together. It's crazy. Like, oh, that's a novel idea, right? No, I'm
Yeah.
just talking about how it's always been done. But we don't have a name for the project yet, but I think that will present itself within the lyrics and the songs that we think are the best fits.
Hmm.
So that's just where we're at right now, which is just, really getting kind of like 10 solid songs together.
Love
Yeah,
it.
pretty
Love it.
much. Yeah.
Um, where can people find Lunison? And I mentioned earlier, people can go to the website, which I just really like. There was a few people like, hey, where's the website? How can I go check? So lunisonmusic.com is the place, but what other social media locations are you guys where you guys at where they can check you?
Instagram, we're Lunison_music, and Facebook. We don't have any other. Oh, we have a TikTok that I don't really check it though. Yeah,
Listen,
I try to stay. Yeah.
if they can go to your website, they should be able to find what they
Yeah.
need to find. So,
Yes, we try to
right,
make sure it's
right.
all that. And you know, because if I'm going on, I'm the guy who does the social media, let me say. And I mentioned to you that I have an addictive personality. So sometimes I'll go on there and I'm like, ooh, look, these people are angry. And I'm like, let me find out more about why they're angry. And then it's like 2 hours later and I'm angry now and I don't want to be angry. So I try to stay off there. You know what I mean? I'm trying to
You know
calm
what?
down.
You said it, bro. Because I am like that as well. That's why you know what? Some of the stuff going on, nope,
Uh-uh.
nope, not gonna
Nah.
follow. I'm either gonna unfollow if I see something weird, or
Yes.
I just no, I just need good energy, man. I just need that.
Yes.
That is all I need. If it's something going on, I'll because we have all always have to be in the know. I get that, but
Mhm.
I don't want to know everything.
No, no, I don't think we're supposed to, you
No,
know?
no.
Yeah. I'm trying to get more involved in, like, what's physically around me locally. Like, I was talking about going to open mics, just going to open mics and like, "Hey, what's this person's deal?" This person looks
Yeah,
interesting, I'll go to. But I don't wanna, yeah, I don't wanna get involved in the chaos. So
yeah. No doubt.
um, but I'll also say I'm proud of the YouTube channel because 'cause we've managed to put together some cool music videos, so they can find us there, Lunison Music on YouTube. A lot of music videos we put together.
And see, that is the perfect collection for everybody to kind of get to know, because that's kind of where I started as well. I started there, and then I went through every other channel that you guys have. So, it's amazing. Like I said, to me, if you people out there is tapping into Lunison for the very first time, you're not going to be disappointed. And I'm not even saying this because my man is on with me right now. I'm just saying it because, to become a fan of music, you have to discover other music. So, like I told him when I started before we went live, I feel bad. I'm just now getting to know Lunison like 3 weeks in. I feel so new and outdated. Like it's weird, but I'm just glad I'm here to be able to kind of witness something that's really really special in my opinion, and it's great to see. So a couple more questions before we let you go, sir. Um, what outside of the music that you have going on right now, and we talked about possible tour things and stuff like that as well. What else would you like to see your group do? Meaning commercials or whatever the case may be. What other things that you would like to see Lunison become a part of?
Festivals. Would love to play some festivals with some other bands, some bands that we look up to, some artists that we look up to. If commercials were available or made available, would love to do that. Commercial licensing, to get in some TV shows because the backdrop, like that visual accompaniment, what a movie or a show can do for a song is like, I mean, you've had your experiences, right? You watch a movie and like a song comes on that you were like so on, and now you love this song because you're pairing it in your mind. Uh, Love to get in some shows or movies. So
Man, it
yeah, I
will
think that's
change your life. Both all you guys' life. Everything will change
yeah,
once you get that one. Like that
I
one,
know.
and then it's addictive because you kind of want to get it again and again and again. So you got to work towards you till you get there. But that's cool, man. Like I mean, right now you just threw that resume out there for the group, Matt. So people that's going to be listening and run this back like, oh, let me go check out Lunison. Oh, let me hear this song. Oh, this song is marketable. Let's see if we can put it here. That's what it's
Yeah.
all about at the end of the day. So that's how it is.
Hey man, some of those songs I think that I kind of wrote to sound cinematic so that they would almost create an inner visual, like, but I think that they would accompany. shows well, and I've submitted them to a few people for that. So who knows? Someday.
Well, yeah, someday like yesterday. So people out there, make sure y'all take care of Lunison. Do that. Matt, Matt, give some shout outs to people that comes to your mind, sir. Floor is yours.
All right, I'm gonna say his name is Barry McGuire, and he produced this album, Fake Pink. Um, he loves the art of production, and I think that we work really well together. And I'll give a shout out to my wife Lauren, because she has not only supported us like emotionally, and but she her voice is in how many songs at this point? She sings backing vocals in the song Candles.
Oh, oh,
So yeah,
oh,
she's in
oh,
Candles.
she's got that voice. That's her.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
hey, let her know for me. Hey, tell her hey, she's got a voice. She's got a
I
voice. She's
will, yeah.
nice.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, she'll definitely appreciate that. She sang in Soul, the song Soul Excited that's on the first album.
Hmm.
And was there another song? I can't remember. I think that's it for now. But so shout out to those two people. I'm gonna keep it at that.
There you go. There you go. And lastly, before we let you go, I might have you might have a moment to think about this, and you can definitely do that. So I would say in life and your journey and everything that you've gone through and everything you've worked yourself up till you got to this point, is there a specific song, not from your catalog, but it could just be a random song from another artist, that will, I guess, in a lot of ways, define your journey? Do you have a soundtrack song or an artist that will say, "Hey, you know what? My journey sounds like that."
You know what? I don't want to think too much about it, because then I'll kind of block myself from giving a good answer. So one song that I love is it's called "This Must Be the Place," Naive Melody by the Talking Heads,
Okay.
and I like the sentiment of just the title of it without even getting into the lyrics. But I want to talk about more like melodically, the progression of that song lifts. If you're hearing it for the first time, right? Like the first time that I heard it, it starts, it's very good. And then it has a pre chorus that's so good. And I'm like, this must be the chorus. This is the chorus, right? And then it steps up again into something that is at the highest aspiration that I could really point myself. It's like to create something that is that pleasing to the ear. It's probably songs like that are the reason that I play music, and I still aspire to create things like that. It's if anybody hasn't heard it, it's on "Speaking in Tongues," which was like the big Talking Heads album when that came out.
It's a
Um,
classic. It's a classic.
yeah, absolutely, and so that I think that song it can define the journey that I'm trying to be on, and then I continue to try and put myself on. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. Um, I want to thank you, not just for taking the time out to hang out with me and the people who will listening live and the people who will run this back, but again, your journey is amazing. Your group's journey is amazing. Everybody has their own individuality, so I'm going to give them. I haven't had dialogue with them, but when you guys run this back, please come back as a group so we can all talk
Oh
and
yeah.
have fun and turn up and do all the things we need to do. So that would be cool. But
Would love that.
Matt, you got a new friend and ally, sir. So I listen. We got something for you coming soon that I think your group is going to love in terms of, and I'm putting this out there to all the radio stations or people who have control over the radio station programming. Put this damn music up there now if you know what's good for you. Because if you don't, what's that? You'll be sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
I really and truly mean that, man. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want to hog these guys just for myself. They will always have their music played here on Next Legacy Radio. It's what we do.
Wow.
But I need you guys to share in that though. So everybody, this is my disclaimer to all you people, and I'm pointing to you. Go get these songs on rotation and share the love. Invest in them now because their prices will go up later. Just saying.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Matt, thanks again, man. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you guys. And please come back with the group and let's all turn up. Let's do it.
All thanks goes to you, Charles. Thank you so much for supporting this. It means a lot to us.
Hey, this is only the beginning. Watch.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Matt.
All right. Take care, man.
You too. Is Matt of the group. Lunison, thank you all for checking out Nexxlegacy. And I appreciate everyone. I've said it at the end of every show. Anybody that's listening live, thank you. And anybody that will be listening live, what I'm gonna do soon is I'm gonna start giving away some stuff. But I need more comments. So if y'all are really into like free giveaways and stuff like that as we're talking music, you should probably come tap in because I will start giving, or I'll do this. I'll probably do like a whole big gift and just put you guys in the drawing of some of this stuff that's going to take place. So all I need is just comments. Y'all just go ahead and spread the love and stuff like that too. And we'll go ahead and start circulating free gifts. I already gave a gift away a while ago. And I'll keep doing that. It could be Amazon gift cards, it could be a PS5, it could be something that you have to become a part of the community in order to do that. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. I got a busy weekend. I got a show tomorrow and I got a show on Sunday. So I'm not done yet. But thanks a lot. Tune in to Nexxlegacy, subscribe, hit the notifications button, and peace out. I'll see you when I see you.